Holy crap, that's such a hit.
So they released their top 10 offenses. Colorado's number 8.
This moment in sports history will be remembered as one of the better fights, man. Like,
Put the cherry on top, they played Austria today. Guess the score of that game? 32-25 to not medal for bronze.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of Bros in the Bleachers podcast. I'm your co-host, Jake.
I'm Josh.
I'm Drew.
And we are happy and oh so happy to welcome you to episode number 24 of our podcast, our Charles Woodson episode. Gentlemen, typically we start this podcast by just running into college football and being all cheerful and merry, but I think that this week it calls for something being in the NFL, just starting our week off hot and fresh.
Just get it off your chest, why don't you already? Just say it. Get to the point.
Thank you. All right, well, let's just jump into it, folks. Let's talk about the game of the week, America's team at America's capital. Dallas just ends up coming in and throat throttling the Commanders. And now, again, if you've been listening for a while, and we hope that you are, and if you are, hopefully you're following us on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and all the different social platforms. But myself as a Dallas Cowboys fan, man, I'm on an all-time high right now. And my co-host Drew, I would just love to hear your thoughts and opinions, being the Commanders fan that you are. You guys didn't really command that game, but would love to hear your thoughts.
There's nothing to be happy about.
I bet.
Yeah, the only good thing about the come out of this game is that your coach gets rehired next year. So that's about the only bright side I have for this game.
That's truly valid.
That probably will happen.
Career-saving game almost. I will tell you that there was a stat that got read so early into that game that pissed me off, where apparently Dallas against Washington rookie quarterbacks going into today's game were 2-6-1. Let's now make that 3-6-1. But definitely a fun game as a Dallas fan, I will tell you.
Yeah, that stat sucked to hearing freaking Scott Hansen saying 2-6-1 here. Shut up.
What a game. What a game. I will tell you that I have a couple of notes, at least from my thoughts from the game. And I'll just start you off with halftime, because really it was one of those games where going into the game, I had no expectations from this team. So the quote is, how the hell are we in this game? And then 5 seconds into the fourth quarter, Cooper Rush is an actual liability to our team and to himself. And that is about when he got subbed out for Trey Lance for exactly one play, but then got put back into the game. And frankly, that's when the defense just was able to step up. And the quote with Jake 3 minutes into the fourth quarter is, the defense isn't fully healthy, but clearly improved. Now, Drew, I'd love to hear your opinion on the Cowboys defense and how we're looking right now.
Yeah, you guys look fucking good. I mean, Jane Daniels every fucking play decides to go roll out right and then just throw a deep bomb to like a contested player. I didn't know Deron Bland was playing, so that was great to see.
Hey, love to see it as well. Well, I think that we need to hear from our czar of the NFC East as well. So, and again, I want to say current, not always, but current today, czar, NFC East. Josh,
I mean,
what do you got?
12 punts and 5 fumbles and a bowl of chips. Very
nice. Hey, way to plan. I love it.
This is probably the worst special teams game either of you guys have seen in your whole entire life.
Yeah, pretty awful. The final quote that I have is that Deshaun Jackson? And obviously that was the Kevontae Turpin spin move, absolute ridiculous return. Just chef's kiss right there.
Yeah, that was probably like the worst amount of special teams I've ever seen. They even said it. They all slowed down, and then he just goes right out of a cane and does a spin move. Two fat fucking losers eat like just, oh my God, just wipe out a banana peel, and then he just takes it to the house. And then that was it. Any hopes of that game being close or just done?
Hey,
yeah,
the spin move works in Madden, and sometimes it works against NFC East opponents. And unfortunately, it was against you, and it wasn't against us. And that's
wipe that goddamn smirk off your face.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that was a real slop game. I mean, like, I as like an outside perspective, like if you have the under, you're sitting at halftime with the under, you're probably like, oh, this is great. We're having a good time. But yeah,
luckily
it got
did
real
not have that.
unhinged. No,
Did
it
not
got
have
real
that.
unhinged.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty shitty game. I'll go through my notes that I saw throughout this game. Let's see. We were both combined 1 for 4 in field goals in the first quarter. We looked awful, and like I mentioned before, Cliff Kingsbury just decides to not know how to run an offense again in the second half of the season. Let's just run the ball nonstop with our shitty running backs, and then how dare you injure Brian Robinson? How dare you?
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Not.
I think the combined stat of like average per carry for our team, not including Jane Daniels, probably around 2.5 yards a carry. So not great from our running backs. Yeah, the offense looked terrible. All Jaden does is roll out to the right and then throw a deep ball to have it incomplete. Frankie Louvu was the only bright side of that game. And then Jaden Daniels just decides to show up with 5 minutes left in the game. Where were you the rest of the game? I mean, he just started throwing balls downfield. Cowboys defense started to lay down, and then Terry McLaurin, we get the field goal, and then we get the ball
Unreal.
back. He scores, and then
Absurd.
I have my Snapchat ready. Too much time for Janie Daniels snap, and then I had my freaking out Snapchat that I don't know if I remember I saved, but I'll put everything in. And then Austin Seibert decides to miss a kick, and he
Yeah.
should have had another week covering from his hip injury, or maybe he pulled his, I don't know.
Hey,
Bro, it was an all-time week for those kickers though. Like, because this morning setup, like nobody was making anything.
it's crazy.
I think the past like 3 weeks, NFL kickers have been the worst they possibly have been in like any recent memory.
Competition, man.
Maybe
Oh,
they're all getting the same disease.
but yes, anyways, my thoughts went from angry and upset because I think we should have won that game when it was 10-9, and then holy fuck, and then sad.
Sorry, bud.
I mean,
Not
like,
really, but sorry.
as an Eagles fan, I was kind of rooting for the Commanders to win because I don't like you, but chaos is good for the division, and I mean, it takes some pressure off really needing to win a lot of these tougher games for the Eagles, but win the games.
True. Big test tonight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, and now I will recommand this show like I normally do. Gosh dang it. But yeah, let's go on to the other games that weren't crushing to my sanity. Let's lead it off. The Browns Steelers game Thursday night. Browns win as an underdog trap game, 24-19 in the beautiful snow, and Jameis Winston is so back.
Oh,
He's
it was
unreal.
it was night and day between last week and this week because last week it literally looked like half the Browns secondary was just like, we don't feel like tackling today, so we're good. And in this game, you just get a little bit of blizzards. You get a little of, I would assume, Myles Garrett getting mad that TJ Watt gets too much attention, and it's just going like, listen, I'm the best. And so he went out and he proved it.
One of those games where, again, I was so infatuated by everything that was going on with Jameis Winston. Again, the pre-game speech,
Mm-hmm.
I get to play in the snow. Like, like just that whole moment and the
The face
virality of
down
just
snow angels.
everything that this guy does is just becoming memeable. And I know, you can tell that he's feeding into it too, right? So, what a game. What a game. What a
Yeah,
glorious opportunity to bet
it's
on
been a
that
burner
game.
for Thursday. It's been a burner for Thursday nights these last couple of weeks. There's been some quality matchups.
And then on top of that, him pregame, his like quote, "The horse is preparing for battle, but a victory comes from the Lord." And I think if you had any money on the Steelers, I think at that point you knew your money was gone because, I mean, how do you not win after saying that?
Oh,
That's too good.
divisional football matters. Let's go.
Yeah, the Steelers offense, you thought this was going to be a game where the Steelers just decided to come back out of nowhere in the late in the second half, but thankfully the Browns, Cleveland fans can rejoice and beat Big Brother Pittsburgh and I don't know. They won. It was awesome. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
and let's go over to where the Tennessee Titans roll into H-Town and beat the Texans in a shocking matter, 32-27. Is Will Levis back?
No.
This was like easily like if the Cowboys Commanders game didn't happen today, this would have been easily the most sloppy game, but it was a disgusting thing to witness. I mean, I don't even know if that O line for the Texans is like, are they the worst?
They could be. I mean, the fact that Tennessee got 8, if not more, sacks on them throughout the game is just diabolical. The quote that I have, and again, let's get the meme playing into it. Like, they can't keep getting away with this. Like that's what it felt like the entire game. But like, I don't even know for which team the meme is really for because the
Oh yeah,
Texans
yeah.
kept like coming back, but then the Titans kept like finding some way to be able to get back into the game. It was just that game gave me an aneurysm. I was so just I don't even know who I'm rooting for here. It was just pissing me off.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I took the over because I had no idea who I wanted to have in that game anyways. So I was just like, we're just gonna let it ride. And it was a calamity of wagon crashing at every milepost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't watch too much of this game, but I would just see like, oh, Will Levis heating up, getting that cocky smirk back, like I said last week. Watch out. Yeah, this is a huge divisional win. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be Texans and Colts, like in an ugly, just drag it out fashion towards the end of the season, even though the Colts lost, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, no, and if the AFC South is disgusting and will remain disgusting. Change my mind. You can't. Anyways.
I don't want to. I will tell you one thing that I took away from it, and I know the internet did too, is that when Will Levis threw his pick six interception, you could see him right after the interception doing a head down sprint, just trying to like get to some sort of a fashion to be in the play. And it just goes to show you, like he understands what's going on the internet right now. So Will, way to get the win, but you,
Hey, if you're not going to do well, you might as well just meme yourself about it. We
true.
go to North Carolina where the Panthers scratch and claw their way to beat a cover on the Chiefs. Chiefs win 30-27. The Chiefs remain probably this is the worst 10-1 team in recent memory. Changed my mind, Jake. I'm still upset about it. They can't get away with it.
Yeah, no, to your point, I mean, again, anytime that this game got close, I think of you, man. Anytime that these Chiefs play and they get into a gross Molly game, they just know how to get the W. And it doesn't matter whether it's a good game or a bad game for that team, right? Because I
Yeah.
think that it's just tackle them down the mountain. Like if the Panthers won by 1 point or they won by 30 points, everyone would be like, this is the death of the Chiefs, right? But if the Chiefs like come out in any sort of fashion, the media is going to just pick and prod and be like, well, they didn't win by 50. That was the worst team in the league, right? Land the plane. You know what I mean? Like, so again,
I don't care. I don't
know,
care.
I know you
They're
don't.
going
I
to play
know,
Las Vegas next week. What's that line going to be? Minus 14, and they're going to only win by 1 point? Like, come on.
land the plane. That's all I'm talking about. That's all you got to do sometimes.
And I don't even think the Panthers led at any point in this game. I think they just kept kind of clawing
No,
yeah,
they didn't.
until they ran out
They
of
just
time,
stayed
I guess.
alive.
There's a future where there's 2 ties today, and I want to live in that future.
Tough beat.
God, Chiefs just pissed me off so much. We go to the Atlanta Gabagool where the Buccaneers take a big old bite of that semolina bread and beat the New York Giants 30-7. Tommy DeVito, how you doing? Crap.
How you doing is not well if you're Tommy DeVito, brother. That's a tough game, and frankly, that's just not where you want to be. Baker Mayfield, that is where you want to be, though, man. That guy just knows how to ball out. The one big play takeaway, obviously, this is a blowout game, so I don't know if there's anything too much to highlight on it. But when it comes to Baker Mayfield, there was a Rashad White carry where he's going down the field, and it was late in the game. They're already up by like 20 points. You know what I mean? And Baker Mayfield is just seen streaking down the field doing that forward block for him. And I'm just like, that is a football guy. You know what I mean? Like that is a guy where you can tell why, again, there was that infamous game where he got signed by the Rams just a few days before and was able to jump in. He's a guy that just gets it, and he will find a way to be able to just, bite a kneecap, like Dan Campbell likes to say, So
Yeah.
I don't
They're
know.
the ball.
I've been watching a lot, almost too much Baker Mayfield, if you will.
No, and on top of that, Bucky Irving, I think, is claimed that backfield role as the number one back. So Rashard White owners, not too great. And then a Sean Tucker vulture touchdown too, so I'm not too happy about that. But no, Buccaneers look good. Mike Evans was back. They needed this win after just being on an absolute slide, especially when like close games too. So I'm happy for the Buccaneers, and Jake, I'm sure you're happy too.
Just makes the NFC South a little bit easier, brother. I love it.
Most fun division in football. We go to the 305 where Miami puts 34 points on the Patriots and only scoring
Dale.
15. Dolly, Mr. 305.
Yeah.
Dolphins win. They're starting to heat up. What do we think? Is this
That was
Dolphins
an
take a late
stinky
push?
of a game.
Yeah,
I
gross game.
I mean, again, I don't know. Like it kind of feels like the same with the Bucks, where it's either like they come into the game and their game plan is sound and it's good and they're going to win the game, or Tua's going to explode or it's just like with the Bucks, just nothing's going to happen correctly. So, yeah, I mean they play Green Bay, I guess next, so that'll be a nice measuring stick game and a Sunday night capper to end the night in Lambeau. Will the Dolphins survive? I don't know. The tundra's cold.
I listen, these AFC East matchups are always going to be wonky. And the fact that this one
Yeah.
was a blowout, I don't think anybody really thought it wasn't going to be a blowout. Again, Josh, to your point, like if the offense is clicking, which it has been for the last couple of weeks, why would you not think it's going to click again, right? The random stat that I found is since the 21-22 season, the Dolphins are 6-1 straight up in those matchups, 7-1 after today. But there's a win differential of 51 points over the 7 games. So I think that's the writing was kind of on the wall that we probably should have adjusted the spread and done something crazy and bet on, a lot of anytime touchdown scorers. I will tell you, I'm sitting here along with a lot of other idiots that just keep mashing the button for Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown, just being like, damn it, why work, but at the end of the day, I think there's nothing else to say about Miami outside of like, if they continue to click, they're going to be a team that probably makes the playoffs, but if they're a team that sputters for a span of even 2 weeks back to back, or even again, over a 3-week span, they lose 2 games, it's going to be a tough beat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Hey,
Great day to
Jalen,
be an A chain owner in fantasy.
Great
and
day.
Jan Wall remembered how to catch more than 4 passes in a game, so that was huge.
Yeah, that helps.
He had his dancing back.
But yeah, I think the I honestly think the Dolphins can make a late push. They're playing, I mean, Green Bay's only their real true test, and then they have some shaky teams: Jets, Texans, 49ers, Cleveland, and Jets again. So let's see what the Dolphins can do. We then go on to the next game where the Detroit Lions beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-6. Probably would have thought this would have been a more convincing win by the Lions, but you know what? They got the job done, and they just keep on moving. Rawr.
Rare indeed. Again, kind of a stomp 'em game. I feel like fantasy owners are happy that Monty and Gibbs both did their thing. Again, maybe you liked having Gibbs a little bit more because he scored more this week, but I think Monty getting in the end zone and being as dynamic as he is, and
Did
clearly
he get
Campbell.
hurt?
I don't know if he got hurt. I'm hoping not. Knock on wood if that's true.
I believe so. I'm going injured, but continue.
But no, with Detroit, I think an 18-point win is okay, Drew. What do you want him to do? You want him to win by 50 every week? What are you asking for?
Well, I mean, no, Anthony, we all know Anthony Richardson isn't that good. This dude he had under a 40% completion rate. I mean, I'm just so, as a fantasy owner and just a Jonathan Taylor, I want Jonathan Taylor to be good, deserves to be good. He is good. I'm just sick of Anthony Richardson just rooting it for everybody because he's not good. I don't know. Am I
When
wrong?
do we start talking about how Jonathan Taylor is kind of having a similar upbringing to like a Saquon Barkley in a way, where like kind of plagued by at one point was like veteran quarterback, came
I
in with
don't
some
hate
shifty
that.
quarterbacks. Like now it's kind of been like, oh, he had an injury. Like, oh, he's been like, oh, is it
He
him? Is it
re-signed,
the
didn't he though?
team? Taylor,
Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah.
You
So
remember that
Yeah.
holdout he had?
and I'm a big Jonathan Taylor guy too. So
So
I
am
think
I.
that it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of this Colts season shakes out. But I don't think you have any confidence with Anthony Richardson under center right now. That's me right now.
He's so bad. Just the whole off season, just work on passing. You don't need to do anything else. Just passing and playbook. That's all you need to do. No
Or
fun.
or straight up, dude, it's confidence building. The fact that you're tapping out of a game at any given point, whether it's stress is too high, game is too big for you. You're hurt. You're this. Like, let's start working on recovery. Let's start making sure that we're ready to play not just 60 minutes, but let's make sure that we're ready to play 70 minutes and know that every game's going to go into overtime, right? What am I going to do when there's 2 minutes on the clock in A, B, and C, right? So I don't know. That's my takeaway from this is that the Colts are bad, but the Colts really need to find a decision-making piece on where they go from here because you're wasting guys like Taylor and Pittman's talent where there's clearly jump off the screen ability and in the numbers and what they do, but record ain't showing it.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Flacco can only be elite for so much. I mean, the dude's old. I mean, he's an old elite quarterback, guys. Like, come on. I mean, the guy's like 39.
Well, hold
Yeah,
on.
39.
Let's be real. If Joe Flacco was in there, maybe they have a better chance of winning. I said number one elite quarterback last week.
So,
Come on.
something about Flacco, throws a toss.
They might only get one field
Something
goal.
behind him. Something behind him.
Touch spiral.
Love me some Flacco. Anthony Richardson can't do that down Baltimore, Anyways, we go to the Windy City where the Vikings beat the Chicago Bears, and the Bears find another way to lose in a miserable.
It really did, man. They really did. They got that onside kick, and I was so elated. I was so happy. I was like, "Here we go, let's go!" And then they just squandered that first possession that they had. Like just one of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, listen, Eberflus walk home, Eberflus walk into the lake, Eberflus go to the Caribbean and get bitten by a crab. I don't care. But yeah, like just squanderous.
If I were to describe the Chicago Bears as a movie title, it would be 1,000 Ways to Die in the West because they keep finding new ways
in the Midwest.
Week after week. Yeah, the Midwest is just blowing. It's just like, God, I feel so bad for them. Like, God damn.
And after that, I was just rooting for the tie after it. I was just like, please tie. And then, yeah.
That just felt like they got stuck on train tracks and they they were tied down to the train tracks and it's like, oh damn it, what do we do? And like there's a pair of scissors right there, like they could clearly get up and get momentum, like they had all the tools to be able to do it. And I don't know what happened, man. It is a gross game, but the quote that I had prior to this game at 9 a.m. was, if Caleb Williams throws for even one passing touchdown, the Bears can and might win this game. And it was kind of gross because Caleb Williams actually threw two passing touchdowns and first passing touchdowns in 5 games. So again, it shows that clearly they were prepared and that they tried to get something done. And damn it, did he make it a dynamic play towards the end of the game on 4th down where he jumped over a dude and got the first down. So like, I mean, maybe he's getting more comfortable. Maybe he's seen a few of these division games go through the hoop and he wants to kind of get with it. But that now that we've seen somewhat of a peak, right? Now we need to address the other pieces that are going on the table. And Eberflus, crawl home, brother. Like, this is ridiculous.
Oh man. It was just like both quarterbacks threw for over 300 yards and kind of both of them are a little bit of in that category of just like, you can't keep getting away with it. Like when I watch Sam Darnold play, I'm like, you're so average. And then it's just like, he just averages his way to winning over the Bears by 3 points, which I guess is probably average.
And then next week they play on Thanksgiving in Detroit, and if they're gonna find another way to lose, it might be a blowout. I just have that imminent feeling of just getting a blown out on Thanksgiving Day.
I was at a bar yesterday with a buddy, one guy that was a Bears fan, the other one that's a Lions fan, and I honestly thought that I was too drunk when the interaction was going on. Crazy, but it was I thought I was too drunk in the interaction, but the Bears fan bet the Lions fan $20 for just a straight up Bears to beat the Lions. And I was like, you should just take $20 and just hand it to me and I'll just rip it up right in front of you.
Just
you know
light it on fire.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that just seems, and again, maybe we're talking too early about this and maybe we look like idiots on the podcast together, but I'm just saying that sounds like a dumb bet.
I'm going on record.
I mean, it's like I was going to say, the Browns won this week and then the Titans won. So, you never know. The
Things
Bears
happen.
almost won.
Things happen. But
I mean, we're close again to the Raiders might upset the Broncos too before the end of the pod. So,
let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, let's go right there right now. Denver Broncos are in Las Vegas, currently up 19-16. Raiders have the ball on their 35 with less than 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
I'm big on Broncos today. Currently have a parlay that I'm sweating out where I had Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown. If you're a fan of the pod, you know that we're a fan of Cortland Sutton. So we had an anytime touchdown, him for over 50 yards, and Broncos money line. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get nasty.
Hell yeah. I'm surprised the Raiders are in this game. I thought Denver would be just laying down the smackdown, but Gardner Minshew keeping it sneaky like always. And
And I mean, I mean, like, I just want to say that this is going to be a weird week when we look back on it, like when it comes like draft time for a lot of these like 2 and 3 win teams. Like there were a lot of 2-win teams that won, which is like kind of crazy if you're the Raiders, where like you kind of really just need a quarterback. So like if I'm like, hey, can we lose this
Don't
game?
win.
Yeah,
Right.
wide left.
It is a very
yeah.
interesting time in the NFL season. And again, you'd like to think that they don't really take that into account, but at the same time, it
Oh yeah.
this it's not show friends, it's show business. Get the get it done.
Yeah, Denver, hopefully they can sneak it out. Bow time. It's bow time. Anything could happen when it's bow time. So Believers. We go into Green Bay, the frozen tundra, where currently the Packers are up 24-10. San Francisco currently has the ball on their 21 with the third quarter about to end, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this for Green Bay, this is probably like, yeah, we finally beat the San Francisco 49ers, not in the playoffs.
Right.
Oh, God, oh my God.
Right. I mean, again, San Francisco's hurt. They haven't been the team that that they really should have been on paper this year. You're happy that McCaffrey's back. You're happy that he's getting snaps, but oh, Drew's got
Jordan
a
Love is just absolutely having a horrible passing day.
I mean,
oh,
listen, I sent a message earlier where I'm like,
I know.
he's so average. Like he's just so absurdly average. But because he plays for Green Bay, it's like, oh, he's Jordan Love. He's so good. But yeah,
But he had like some brilliances of like flashes of brilliance
I
playing the
mean,
game.
so
Like
does so did Anthony Richardson. And the
I would say those are two different kind of flashes. Like we might have a real quarterback and like, wow, this guy makes some freaking athlete plays and
yeah.
like,
that sounds like Daniel Jones then.
Uh,
oh yeah, Daniel Jones. Who wants to sign him? Anybody? Anybody?
the
Um,
49ers.
yeah, I mean San Francisco's hurt. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, Brock Purdy's not even playing. Brandon Allen, where did he? Cincinnati, interesting. That's where he was last. Christian McCaffrey's not healthy. George Kittle's somehow just trying to make this team any competent on offense. I don't
Got
know.
me my
True.
one touchdown.
And then we go to the rainy city in Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks are up 13-3. Cardinals have the ball in Seattle's 46 with 13 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Again, this NFC West division is just absolutely insane. The Seahawks are making a late push to maybe try to get the top of this division.
I
Home
mean,
field
listen,
advantage matters.
I was watching. I mean, I wasn't watching. I was like, looking at the lines beforehand, and I really kind of got too far in my head about this game. And I had to really think back to like again, Jonathan Gannon being the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, and I was just like, oh well, like last week it was like night and day for Geno Smith when it was like if Nick Bosa was in the game, he was playing bad. When Nick Bosa went out, he was playing great. And then I was like, well, I mean, like, are the Cardinals going to have a good enough defense to really want me to pick the Cardinals, or is Gino probably going to dice them up a little? And I went, Gino's probably going to dice them up a little. And so far, we're doing good.
Dude, if Seattle wins this game, they're the top of the division. Like
Yeah.
they
Well, that big game tonight too. But to your point with Seahawks, they got
Oh,
to
that's another good point. We'll see how that goes.
yeah,
We'll get to that
yeah.
later.
But honestly, on the Seahawks side, Josh, I was basically in the exact same boat. To me, it was almost a little bit of a different view. It was, do the Cardinals have a big enough offense that can just continue to keep motoring and to score enough points to overpower probably a not insanely great Seahawks defense? Or, again, when it comes to the Seahawks, can they just show up? Because they've got the talent. Now it's just about consistently being able to do it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
this seems like a game in my head because when you talk about like these interdivision matchups, I like to think that they're not always low scoring games, but we we joke about it and talk about it all the time. Like these division games just get scrappy and they're sometimes just they're either huge blowouts that have 42-point quarters like the Dallas
Yep.
and Commanders game did, or you have games like this where again it's 13-6 and there's maybe an entire quarter of football left. It's nuts.
Hmm.
Cardinals are now in the red zone on Seattle's 10 after a 30-yard pass to Michael Wilson.
And
There we
that's
go.
kind of the biggest X factor for them is just Kyler Murray finally shook away that Cliff Kingsbury bum, and you know now he's rolling around like the little grape he is.
Yeah, he's doing real well, putting up 3 points just now. And then we go on to the Sunday
Nobody's
night
safe.
game where the Philadelphia Eagles fly to Los Angeles to take on the Rams tonight. The Eagles are a 3-point favorite with the over-under. Why is it always 49? It seems like it's 49. Is it for, you know what? I'm gonna check my sports book. We're gonna double reference this line.
Check it out.
Oh yeah, fact
Okay,
check.
check it out. Yep, it is 49 again. Interesting. That seems like Vegas' favorite number. So Eagles are a 3-point favorite, and the over-under's the 49. Josh, this is your game. What are you thinking?
It all just comes down to the Eagles are a defensive first team now. So I mean, if they can continue to muddy the waters, but it's kind of just you got to get pressure on Stafford because clearly he doesn't want to get sacked. Like if you get close to him, he'll just be like, somebody might catch it. And so I mean, there's that. Devontae Smith is out, so hopefully, I mean, I would say stay away from the AJ props because it never works out that way. I mean, if you want probably a sneaky one that you could snag, probably like a Dallas Goddard. I guess this is just to you guys because it'll come out one day. But Dallas Goddard will probably have like over like whatever his reception is. So that that's where I'm at. I think it. I don't know. This Rams defense they're young, but they're hungry, and that's kind of the scary thing. And you never know what happens when you have to travel all the way out west. But it's a stadium that it really isn't a home environment for the Rams almost ever when they play like a more historic team. So
I mean, when the San Francisco 49ers went to go play the Rams, it was just 70% San Francisco 49er fans in SoFi.
yeah, poor Rams. I mean, St. Louis was fun.
I was so
Well,
upset when they left St. Louis, but anyways, go ahead, Jake.
on the Ram side, I think that at least we're happy now because Puka Nacua knows that he's in the NFC West division. I don't know if you guys saw that breaking news that came out is that he was interviewed and he didn't know
He
what
didn't know
division
that?
apparently he did not know what division that the Rams were in. So breaking news, I guess. But no, I think that McVay is one of these coaches that is kind of like a Mike McDaniel Mike McDaniel in a little bit where kind of memey, kind of like lean into the culture, say, oh, what's going on in the other person's, head, right? And there was a big divisional matchup, and it's the one that we just talked about, right? Like, so he's probably saying, like, this is a huge opportunity for us to be able to show up at home and be able to do something. I still think that the Eagles probably win this game. I do think it's going to be a really gross, close game. So I think that even 3 is still too close of a spread. So I'll just take Eagles money line. But I think that over under 49 is just it's so gross because
It's a
again,
gross number.
because you're either completely believing in both defenses to show up and there not to be a ton of problems, or there to be a ton of problems. And I just give me the over. Give me the over. Let's just see the Eagles put up 30.
Breaking news, Cortland Sutton caught another touchdown.
God, I love that guy. Cortland Sutton, we're getting a jersey if we win our fantasy football championship because of you. You are an absolute value pick. You're an absolute dog. And when we come up with an award that doesn't just have bell cows and it's more about wide receivers, I promise that you'll be my first one when it lines up, brother.
Of course. But back to the Eagles.
As I say that in
Rams
a Cowboys
game.
jersey.
So Jake, you have the Eagles, and what did you think about the over/under?
Eagles and over.
Josh, what do you think?
I'd probably take the Eagles in the under.
Shocking.
I think I'm
Josh loves
going.
primetime unders.
I really do.
If we're all on the Eagles, I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles and the over.
Oh.
So
There you go.
yeah, I've been getting torched on unders the past week. I've been right on the teams, just not right on the points. So I will go against my mind and go with the over. So Eagles and over. So let's move on to the Monday night game where we have an absolute battle between brothers. We have Jim Harbaugh with the San Diego Chargers taking on John Harbaugh in the Baltimore Ravens. The current line is Baltimore 2.5 point favorites and the over under 50.5. Thoughts on this game?
That's kind of my main thought. It's going to be one of those games where, again, people are playing into the whole social media ism of it of, oh, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, right? I feel like this has got to be the ultimate test for the Ravens, right? The Ravens need to be able to win this game because it's in LA, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So they've got to be able to go on the road as a favorite and win this game. It's low key very similar to the game we just talked about too with the Eagles, right? Like
Mhm.
this is going to be a huge game for the Eagles where it's like if they take this, they take a multiple game division or a lead on the division. Same thing with the Ravens, right? Like if they win this game, they have it. I think it's a 2 game lead, 1 game lead on the
They're
division.
500 right now in the division, so
Let me
Oh.
go ahead and reference for that, my friend, if my
they've been
app
getting
can
wrecked. Because
load.
is it still the Steelers?
The
Oh, it could
Steelers
be.
are up a game. If the Ravens lose, they'll be 2 games behind.
So there you go. Never mind. It's a game where the Ravens can kind of get back into that leading position of the division, right? And I think that the Chargers, they have a top defense, but the Ravens really just need to be able to show that offense can produce 28, 30 points and show that the Chargers can't produce 28, 30 points, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magic Johnson.
I try.
I really got nothing for this. I mean, I'm excited to watch it. I'll probably just pick John just because I think the Ravens will probably go in there and I don't know. I don't know how much they'll be fooled by the smoke and mirrors, but I mean, the Chargers they just play good fundamental football, which if the Ravens seem to just not be able to catch the ball sometimes. So
That's true.
Yep, I would agree with that. I love me a home underdog. There's nothing more than I love than a home underdog, and
let's do
I
the Rams.
I love this Chargers offense. I think this Ravens secondary, like I mentioned in previous episodes, has been so bad. They have been so bad. I mean, last game obviously they held the Steelers to all field goals, but I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have a great game plan to shove it down their throat. I think the Chargers defense is going to be somewhat competent enough to stop Lamar. Lamar's been kind of on a little stock downturn these past few games. So give me the Chargers and give me the under in this game. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, a lot of running the ball.
I'm going Ravens and under.
So you two are on the Ravens. I'm the only bolt head. Bolt man.
Sorry, dog.
I'm gonna put a picture of Bolt Man over my
Please
face.
do. Absolute scary
Terrifying.
thing. It's so terrifying, but also, what's up, Bolt man?
Wait. Bolt Man with his corny sunglasses. Anyways, that's enough about the Chargers. But that'll wrap up NFL talk. Wow, can't believe we got NFL first and out of the way. So let's go on to amateur college football. We had some insane games as always, and the SEC has been flip-flopped upside down, turned over on its head. Greg Sankey's probably punching his steering wheel because he's upset that all these teams are bottom feeder in the SEC are cannibalizing his top college playoff teams. So I'll go off first with one who that got cannibalized with the Auburn Tigers beating Texas A&M in overtime. Overtime. Absolute insane game. Auburn wins 43-41. Yeah, Jake Payton Thorne, man. Clutch GC.
Oh, come on now. Let's wait. All of these quarterbacks get one big win to be able to hang their hat on. So again, kudos to Peyton.
Am I a Heisman?
It's probably up to me in sense of I probably threw a little bit too much shade. Of course, you're going to win the biggest game of the year. Neener. So not big. Actually, technically not the biggest game of the year. They got to play Alabama still.
Do that. I mean, even that still, I think Auburn doesn't have enough piss and vinegar in them to want to continue this. Like, let's just take everybody out of the playoffs. If we can't get in, nobody can.
Oh yeah,
It's just like
a double-digit line should be scared right now.
It's like the screw it, I'll do it myself.
Right. But no, I mean Auburn had a big lead in the beginning of this game, 21-0 against Texas A&M, and I was just dancing. I'm like, Texas A&M, get on out of here, get on out, get in
Yep.
there.
I mean, I kind of wanted him to win just because I didn't want Georgia in the SEC final game because I'm always scared of a Georgia, and I think that'd be kind of an interesting thing to see how that would have shook out, especially if Ole Miss won. But we'll get to them later.
That we will. And then Marcel Reed, the quarterback for the Texas A&M Aggies, stormed back. They had tied it up 21-21 with some crazy passing touchdowns, and then they just kept going for it, back and forth, back and forth. And then we got to overtime where it came down to 2-point conversions. Auburn was able to get a deep conversion in the back of the end zone, and then Texas A&M had such a good play with a nice reverse throw to pass for only the guy to drop it and then absolutely get the field
Devastating.
stormed
Oof.
on them. So yeah, absolute just
It was some true
disdain.
SEC after dark.
Yeah, just an
Yeah.
absolute gong show, but we love them. We love them. That's why we talk about them on this podcast.
No, that was a sick game, and that's all I had. And then obviously, I don't know if you guys bring up Alabama, Oklahoma, but Alabama, Jaden Miller, what happened? You're out.
That was a
Disgusting.
gross game. And again, I feel like for anybody that was big on Alabama for, going into this back half of the season, you really got to look yourself in the mirror and say, why do we like this team again? And it's because of the defense. So again, just take yourself, and it's not all about Milrow, right? But he also has really got to be able to just, again, take this week, get prepped. You've got bigger games ahead of you, brother, but reset, focus.
As Jeff Fish is to Brett Brennan, Nick Saban is to Kalen DeBoer because I mean, if you think about it, our crappy Arizona team losing is probably similar to how Bama feels fans with Kalen DeBoer. It's like, man, we have such a good coach. I mean, 3 losses, like I would kill to have 3 losses.
I mean, we'll
but
take
true.
Kellen DeBoer.
Yeah, right.
right, isn't that the truth? But no, Bama fans are probably not used to this. It's been a
No,
while.
definitely not. And it's a
So
humbling
much
moment now.
uncertainty.
Yeah, it's a humbling moment with everything that's going on in college football, but everybody's got to get used to it. In Alabama, that means you too.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the first time they missed the SEC championship in how
Could be.
long? I
Yeah,
think it happens.
I'm pissing Boise State blue on their ivory tower right now.
And that's all I had pretty much for my game. So, Josh, college football you want to talk about?
I mean, I've been saying it for weeks, man. Going to Wyoming is a trap. Don't go to Wyoming. It's scary. There's nothing around. Not even a McDonald's, like in half the towns. But like, yeah, I mean, I saying it forever, man. The Boise State line really looked terrible in that game, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, Genty continued to shine because I mean, not only having the stats, but just also surviving the volume. Because I mean, you could kind of see it's wearing on him, but he continues to just, if you give him space, he's going to disappear and he's going to go.
I love the agenda that we're pushing. It's just,
Yes. You
let's
have
keep
to.
it going. Let's keep it going.
Dude, he's such a hoss. I saw him a pic just like cut sleeves and his arms are just ginormous.
There were
He's
so
just like,
many.
"Going."
There were like, I mean, there's so many good clips from there that we could have had where it's just like those Wyoming defenders trying to tackle Genty. It's like trying to go into work this next week where it's like right before Thanksgiving. They're like, and Genty was just like, I don't even need to really like stiffen the arm. I just kind of need to put it out there. And that guy, they're just falling over. They were like, finals.
I, I get it, but hey, listen, that's just another piece to add into the Ashton Genty Heisman hopeful. So again, all they needed to do was win the game, just like the Chiefs. All you got to do is just win the game. It's not about covering. It's not about that. And again, Genty was able to, rock with it and get unreal stats. I don't know if it's maybe the Madden stat line that everybody keeps like freaking out about week over week, but again, that's what we'd like to see. We'd like to see consistency, and that was the definition of it.
Yeah. You just got to be in the conversation. Got to have the cool DVDs that they
Agreed.
keep passing around.
And that'll
DVDs.
bring us to Jay. College football games you saw this week.
Well, I was rocking on Saturday morning with a couple of different teams, but the first one I wanted to bring up was obviously everything with Indiana, because we've been talking about them for a few weeks about the big double-digit spread we were all expecting. We
called it. You called it.
Called it, and not only that, I nailed it at 10.5. But when it comes to this game, again, the 15 to what was that? 38 loss that we ended up having, that is a huge F in the chat for Indiana, just because I
Yeah.
mean, you really thought that it was that big, and just being able to come into that game, maybe having it to be a little bit close, but Ohio State 316 total yards versus Indiana's 153 total yards. That just, it's not going to cut it, and frankly, I would love to say that it wasn't penalties, but Ohio State had more penalties than Indiana did. And I'd love to say that it was time of possession, but Indiana had more time of possession than Ohio State did. And I'd love to say that it was turnovers, but Ohio State and Indiana had the same amount of turnovers. So it's just like, it's a weird game, and it just goes to show you that Ohio State is big brother in the conference, man. It's crazy.
To bring up more salt in my wounds, I feel like I was watching this game and it was the Eagles versus the Commies again, when the real talent, was facing against the not so much talent, so to say. But Indiana scores first, and in a classic Big Ten drive, they score a rushing touchdown. Ohio State gets stopped on 4th and 1 on Indiana's goal line, and that was insane. I think that was the peak for Indiana, because that's where it kind of went away after that. Ohio State got the ball to keep momentum, but it did get stopped after a well-defended pass that got like popped up and picked. And I think Indiana versus the Ohio State defense blitz was just, they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
They were just getting after O'Rourke. Is that the quarterback's name for
Yeah, Curtis
Indiana?
O'Rourke.
Yeah, he there's nothing he could have done behind that O line to help him if they were blitzing. Yeah, just Ohio State just went on their merry way and just crushed the rest of that game.
On their merry way they go.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you survive the game because you never look past that, and then it's probably going to be on to Oregon, and that'll be an awesome thing to see again.
Oh, dude, that's a good point.
That's going to be huge.
Oregon has to go to Indiana though, so
They're going to see a pissed off Hoosier.
Hey, who knows? That anything can happen on a Saturday, I'll tell you.
Mhm.
anything can happen.
One of the other games that I had, Drew, is I had the Wake Forest at Miami game. Again, we've been talking about Miami for a couple of different weeks now, and the 14-42 loss from Wake Forest. Um, Not ideal. Again, I think that Miami really just laid the hammer. Wake Forest had 193 total yards. Miami had 508. I it was one of those games where you don't need to put too much stock into it, but Miami is back, and it's seeing them win by 4 touchdowns, and again laying elbows, like we like to say on the podcast. It's big for them going into the ACC championship.
Jake, is that your elbow of the week?
Oh, I'm down with that. The nice little elbow drop. Miami dropped the elbow on Wake Forest, no doubt. To show a little bit of love back to Wake Forest, Desmond Claiborne, former bell cow on the show, did have an 100-yard kickoff return touchdown. So that was huge. And he made an insane cut around the 20 to 25-yard line. And that return reminds me of a return that happened today. That's, well, what game was that? Oh, I think it was. Oh, it was the Dallas versus Commanders game. It was the Cavante Turpin, the one that we talked about earlier. Yeah. Wow,
You
that's
shut your goddamn motherfucking mouth, you son of a bitch.
let's go. I've been waiting on that note all morning. I'm not gonna lie. But the other person that I want to highlight is Miami actually made a huge defensive play in this game. And again, we talk about Miami's defense not being the highlight of their team, and it most definitely is not. But Michelle Powell jumps right into the lane and gets one of the easiest pick six interceptions that I've seen for 76 yards. And he's turning out to be one of the better cornerbacks in college football on a terrible defense. And there are some pretty solid cornerback talents around college football nowadays, and maybe they're not just all from Colorado. That's all. I'll say for now, if you will.
Oh,
Mm, yeah, I know, getting crazy over here. And last game I'll highlight, Drew, is the Ole Miss game, just because again we've talked about them for a few too many. We've talked about them for a few too many weeks now, and I think we all
Jackson
got a
needs a
little
dart.
bit. We 100% does, because I think we all got a little bit too big for our britches, and maybe it just take one to get off the pain. Immediately this made me think of like the Ben Affleck meme where like he's down, he's smoking a cigarette. So again, maybe eat that guy in there. But Ole Miss, I don't really understand how this game happened because this is almost like the reverse of what happened with the Ohio State Indiana game because Ole Miss had 464 total yards. Florida had 345 yards. So you're outplaying them in that regard.
This was a trap game.
100% trap game and fell for it.
They got swamped.
Yeah, they did. But Ole Miss, was it the penalties? No, because Florida had more penalties than Ole Miss did. Was it time of possession? No, it was because Ole Miss had 4 seconds more of time of possession than Ole Miss or than Florida did. And in turnovers, that is what made the game. And it was Jackson Dart threw a incredibly costly interception in the late part of the game into triple coverage.
Dude, he threw 2 picks in the final 2 minutes. Like, what a bonehead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it would, and again, that's where you come into those trap games where you've got to be prepared for every team to say that Ole Miss is coming into town. That's our Super Bowl. We've got to win that game. We've got to find any way that we can do it. And anytime that you just give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And Jackson Dart throwing into triple coverage with 2 minutes left to try to miraculously tie the game because it's probably worked in other levels. Brother, that ain't it. So unfortunately, Ole Miss does fall down this week.
Yeah, no, I think it's over for them. Playoffs are over. Kiss it goodbye. Lane Kiffin's probably going to leave for a better job if there is one.
Could. Easily could.
Is there one?
We'll see how the
I
next
wouldn't
couple
be
weeks shake
surprised
out, honestly.
if the Florida job becomes open next one. If Billy Napier gets canned, like Kiffin just like, I'm just gonna go over here.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, I can't really think of any other big job that he would probably want if he that little snake. I love Ole Miss though, but it's just heartbreaking that they lost. Big sad. Big sad.
And they were in the powder blues, huh?
Yeah. Sad blues. But Jake, will that wrap up your college footballs for the day?
Yeah, that is my college football for you, brother. But I think that might just bring us to our favorite segment, Drew. Does it? Oh, what did I hear something in the background? Wait, what was that? Oh, is that? Oh my God, wait. Is that Bell Cow Savage? Oh no.
Bell Cow Savage here. Yeah, back for another episode of Bell Cow, my favorite segment. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Yeah.
Let's go, Bell Cow Savage. Tell it to him. What are your Bell Cows this week?
Let me tell you something. You want to know what a bell cow is? Bell cow's a running back, quarterback, even possibly, who has over 20 carries, 100 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. Let me tell you something. You want to know what a true bell cow is? A true bell cow, someone who gets 34 carries on the ground. My God. Let me tell you something. You know what the cream who rises to the top. 35 carries. Give me some of that. Caleb Johnson. Yeah. 164 coming on the ground. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Give me something. The sprinkle, that cream that rises to the top. Down. Too sweet to be sour. 1 touchdowns coming on the ground. Nothing more than a bell cow from Iowa. Yeah.
Hey, Bell Cow Savage, no one does it better than you. I will try my best. But Devin Neal, you are my Bell Cow this week, just like you've been for a few weeks. 37 carries. That's the highest carry count that we've had in Bell Cow history, with 207 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, along with 4 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 booms for Devin Neal, a 51-yard touchdown, a 9-yard touchdown, a 2-yard touchdown, and guess what? He'll just do a 1-yard touchdown to just seal the game. And again, Devin Neal, thank you for ending the hoax of Colorado. We appreciate you, my brother.
Gotta love that. I haven't named one bell cow from Colorado. They have a lot of buffalo up there, but no bell cows.
No bell cows, brother.
No.
Only jingle bells.
Devin Neal establishing a residency here in Bell Cow Central, baby. Ooh, yeah. Josh, give me your bell cow of the week.
So we're going to stray into the best conference that's around the MAC and an outstanding 24-7 victory for the Ohio University. We looking on Anthony Tyus the third, 33 carries, 125 yards, and One TD. And listen, the special award here is you just got to lean on him here because I mean that game got it was just a game that was won in the run game, and between him and Parker Navarro, who was two carries short of also qualifying, 2 TDs, 1 over 4 yards, just an absolute ground game assault to just put themselves where the cream goes at the top of the map.
Oh, we love that. God bless America. 33. Old Bellcats had over 33 carries. That's what I call a true Bellcat.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, I'm wrap up Bell Cow of the Week. Yeah. And we move on to our next favorite segment, Turkey of the Week. Who absolutely choked? Who just blew it? Who's overdrive turkey? Let me tell you, I'm the turkey of the week, and you want to know because I'm a loser. I'm a freaking loser. I'm a loser for believing that this team, the Washington Commanders, that's in a rebuild year, thinking that things are different. We're just gonna march in the playoffs. No, we've sucked. I've been getting absolutely trashed by these two bozos here in the camera. I'm such a loser. I'm wearing my loser jersey, Albert Hainsworth jersey. That's how much of a loser I am. Bad Albert, that's how much of a loser I am. Made sure I wore that jersey because I'm not a winner. I haven't been a winner, never will be a winner. Jaden Daniels, what happened? I don't know what happened.
Never will be a winner.
I just don't know. There's everything in Washington's coming to shit. My favorite hockey player, which I'll get to later, sucks right now to be a Washington DC sports fan. And I'm overdried cook, oil fire, overcooked black burnt turkey in the oven. Nobody wants to eat a dry turkey. I'm a loser.
Dry turkey, dry stuffing.
Hey, that is about the gobbliest of gobbles that I've seen on these turkeys. But there is an equally bad turkey this week, Drew, and it's our friends over in BYU. And why did you have to do this to me? Why'd you have to do this to everybody? Why'd you have to give ASU just another inch, man? Come on. The main reason why they're the turkey, outside of just losing this game, there was a clip that went viral. There was an ASU student that was inside of the BYU's blue medical tent during the game, and that's egregious. That's not allowed. That's against the Mormon religion. So again, BYU, you're my turkey this week.
Josh.
And that will take it to me. My turkey will be Ole Miss, as we talked about previously. Just like you could have shook it up. It could have been in there. I mean, we could have saw either an Alabama or a Georgia just have not been there for the first time in what feels like forever. But it's all crap. The SEC is going to probably get 4 teams. There's probably going to be a 3-losser in there. What's the point of even playing in the championship game if that just accounts for another game that you might lose? SEC.
Bah humbug.
Exactly.
And that'll wrap up Turkey of the Week. Thanksgiving. I think this is our last turkey of the week until Thanksgiving.
Gobble gobble.
Man, I don't want it to go away, man.
We got to get back in the lab.
Yeah, we gotta find some stuff.
I love me the fall season. Christmas comes too soon. People just once November 1st hits, just Christmas music. Nobody remembers Thanksgiving. I remember Thanksgiving. Love just for the food, pretty much. That's all I care about is food.
Oh, yeah. I love a gluttonous meal.
Right. And that'll wrap up Turkey of the Week. And we move on to our current events of the week, what we saw, what we want to get off our chest. So I'll lead us off with Jake. Jake, current events you had this week.
Well, I saw an amazing story in sports this week, and as a proud Jewish American, I feel like I needed to be able to talk about this. Sam Sauls becomes the first Orthodox Jewish football player to play D1 college football. And it's unreal how this story ends up working out. If anybody knows about Shabbat, you're not allowed to use power or really be able to, you're really diving into the religious part of the holiday. And that happens from Friday to Saturday. And sundown is when you're able to kind of jump back into that state. And frankly, Sam Sauls he wears 39 because there's 39 commandments of Shabbat. He's 5'6". He's a walk-on from Philadelphia, and he's been on the team for 2 years, but hasn't been able to play because there hasn't been a game that's been perfectly timed enough to where he could actually suit up and be able to get involved. And there was a game that happened because of daylight savings this week where he was able to suit up, he was able to play, and it's believed to be the first time that an Orthodox Jew has played D1 college football. So Sam Sauls, salute to you, mazel mazel, brother.
Hey,
Nice.
shout out, shout out. Josh, current events for the week.
My current event is basically just that there was an F1 race in Vegas. I went to quali. It was cool. Saw some Ferraris. They rode around. The Mercedes, absolute shocker of a weekend. They looked fast in practice, which normally nobody believes anything in practice. They were fast in practice, fast in quali. Lewis Hamilton diced up the grid from 10 to 2. The Ferraris have decided that they want to fight again, even though we're kind of just going for the championship at the constructor championship at this point. But yeah, that was the current event. It was an absolute another gem of a race that was put on the streets of the beautiful Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah, I should have known with it being a street race that there weren't going to be too many crazy things that were going on. And again, Mercedes being able to show up in quality. Should have seen the writing on the walls for, them for George to really take the whole thing. But sadly,
I guess if you made every race cold, the Mercedes runs perfectly. If you don't, meh.
ba-dum.
I sadly didn't get to watch the F1 race because I don't know how I'm able to stay up at 1 a.m. to watch such an event. But yeah, it was very cool. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the festivities that were brought to your town.
Oh, it was crazy.
100%.
I mean, also if you don't know, like if you get some of them like fancy tickets, like all the food in there is free. I mean, it was free, which means it was kind of not good, but it was free, which was awesome. You still have to
Love
pay for
that.
alcohol, but
Better
yeah,
than the Miami race.
Really?
Oh my God, dude, you
Oh.
got a VIP ticket? Dude, chicken tenders cost like $200. Not even kidding.
That's
A
diabolical.
fruit plate was $75.
Boy.
Fruit from the rainforest?
You would think probably Publix, not probably even worse, Winn-Dixie,
Could be.
Walmart Cantaloupe. The Miami race sucks in comparison to any other F1 race. So good to hear that was free food in the VIP section at least. So
I mean,
Drew,
I don't know if
I
it
got
was VIP, but there was free food.
Drew, I got another current event for you. Sorry, it slipped by
nope,
me,
Jake,
but
your turn's over, man. Sorry.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so sorry, but this needs to be talked about because we haven't talked about service academies at all on the podcast, and I just have to. It's got to make its way in. So
Salute to service.
salute to service. Air Force won their college football game this weekend versus Nevada Reno without recording a passing yard. It is the first time in Division I college football
Really?
that they have had a game where there is 0 passing yards from the winning team in a 22-19 victory. And I've got it for you. So if you could throw up the graphic for us, it is just absolutely gross what these lines look like right now. And again, kudos to our salute to service because they've been mentioned in about, let's call it 24 straight podcasts. So let's make sure that they go on for another 24 and more, baby.
Ching. And I'll go to my current events. First time Hall of Fame ballots for baseball have come out. So we got some new faces, candidates to potentially go into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I'll just rattle off a bunch of names. And man, do I feel old reading some of these names because we have Carlos Gonzalez, Curtis Granderson, Felix Hernandez, Adam Jones, Ian Kinsler, shout out L'Chaim, Russell
Love it.
Martin, Brian McCann, Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, Fernando Rodney, CC Sabathia, Ichiro, Troy Tulowitzki, and Ben Zorbist.
There's like 3 or 4 that should get in at
Yeah.
least. I mean, Ichiro is going to get in first ballot for sure.
Yeah.
Pedroia, I think a lot of people are either high or low on just because they either play a lot into the championships or they're going to play into small career. So it's going to be one of the 2 arguments that you play there. Man, there's a lot of guys there that makes me feel old. That makes me feel like I was playing the bigs in 2008, man. Come on.
Yeah, a lot of these guys for me, when I was starting to get into baseball, like Carlos Gonzalez, King Felix, Adam Jones, Ian Kinsler, I mean, those are the guys I think of when I first started watching baseball. But Josh, you got
Felix
to
might be up and down too, because you're talking big peak, deep valley.
yeah. Josh, did you have a thought you needed to get off your chest?
Yeah, I mean, I just was going to say if Ichiro's not unanimous, I have words for people.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
I mean, maybe Pete Rose if he was still with us, but
Tough.
damn, I went there. Um, my next current event, we had the ESPN game with the Simpsons, Homer on Team Dallas Cowboy, and then Bart Simpson on Team Cincinnati Bengals. That's the only cast I plan on watching this next week, I think. Is it?
That makes sense. I'll be watching it too. I'm very
Oh,
excited to see it.
excuse
I'm
me.
so intrigued.
It's 2 weeks from now, but
Oh, it's
Oh.
not
Yeah.
yeah, it's not the Thanksgiving game. It's the Bengals game, so it's gonna be the week after. That makes sense.
yeah, there's going to be interviews from Marge and Lisa on the sidelines, so that should be really interesting, homie.
That was good.
That was good.
Oh, thank you. I didn't think it was that good. My next thing is Minute Maid Park, cheating scandal. Houston Astros have their team stadium from Minute Maid to Daikin Park. I don't know. That's pretty bad. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
just
as
gonna let
great.
that simmer.
For a bad team, anyways. Oh, and then lastly, another last thing for baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays. What do you think are going to talk about in the Tampa Bay Rays, guys? Any guesses?
Yeesh. I mean, oi, oi,
The
oi, oi.
the Rays say their new ballpark is unlikely to be ready for the 2028 season, if at all. And then some guys just like, just tear down the roof, just play in it. And then one guy's, you idiot, the field can't drain.
Not fun.
I
Yeah,
think
so
was it they're playing in the Yankees
Oh,
spring training
yeah,
facility, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're paying the Yankees, I believe, more money than they're paying their roster or something. There's some sort of weird fee that goes on there. It's just, again, it wouldn't shock me if that's the way it
It
breaks
is
down.
literally
Dude.
like it is the absolute like the icing on the cake of like the Rob Manfred like commissionership of like, oh yeah, we fixed the game, we instituted the pitch clock, everybody likes it more, and then it's like, oh yeah, great, and then it's like, oh, but we have two teams playing in minor league fields. Don't ask us about that. And you're just like, wait a second,
Yeah, that's
our
so
regional sports packages are dying, and we have no idea what to do with them.
ain't that the
Yeah,
truth?
Robert.
Yeah, Mr. I'm drunk giving the World Series speech to the winning team. Uh, was that 2 years ago? I don't remember. But yeah, that's all I had for current events. So let's move on. Move on to our next segment, bench or play. Who are we benching? Who are we playing? I'll lead us off. My biggest bench. Baker Mayfield donates $17,900 to a Texas high school team that needed new equipment to play their games, and they ended up winning the state championship. I mean, Baker Mayfield,
Good
class
guy
act.
alert. Good
Class
guy
act.
alert. Love it.
So yeah, shout out to that team. Congrats on the state championship. Shout out Baker. That's all I had.
We
Josh.
made it to state.
Josh, bench or play this week?
Oh, I will be playing, and I will mostly just be playing the fact that in college football, we're about to enter literally just all the big rivalry matchups. And oh, we're gonna feast. We're gonna feast. Avoid all those double point lines. Maybe teaser them up to +7, +17 or whatever. But yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's finish out the season strong and have a good time in the playoffs.
Throw out the record books, baby. Throw them out.
Please, U of A, please.
I
need you.
That would be sick. Let's go. I would love for that to happen.
Oh, yeah.
ASU,
I'll be-
U of A.
I'll run around the Idaho streets if this happens.
Yeah, Jake. Bench or play this week?
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of a stacking, if you will. I'm playing anyone that talks to me about Ashton Genty for the next month. Because frankly, those are the people that that they've got their heads on straight. They're people that you want to be around. They're people that see the future, because a guy that is being able to put up in 11 games, 275 carries, 2,062 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7.5 yards a carry deserves the heaviest trophy in college football. And that comes down to the Heisman. Who I will be benching is anyone who talks to me about Travis Hunter for the Heisman for the next month, because someone talk to me about how playing both sides of the ball that equates to stats and that equates to at the end of the day being the best player, because it comes down to, are you the best player on a team that's actually going to make it to the end up crown jewel of what this college football playoff is? Because it doesn't look like Colorado has the sauce to be able to do it. And guess what? If we're really going to look into this whole Colorado staking thing, maybe it's the guy that plays on both sides of the ball that has to play into the fact that they've lost the 3 games. Huh? What? No one ever talks about that. They talk about, oh, he has an 1,000-yard receiving season. Oh, he has 3 interceptions. I'm sorry, but there's guys that play for San Jose State that have more interceptions than you. There's guys that play for Miami's defense that have more interceptions than you. Get a grip. Buy me a beer if you want to talk to me about this whole Travis Hunter thing, but I might just not listen. So I'm benching anybody that does.
Yep. In the words of, I mean, to circle back to ASU, in the words of Herm Edwards, you play to win the game.
You play to win the game.
Which that's such a slight to ASU because that was a great time for them.
Oh my God, that's gonna be such a hot take when I clip that, Jake. Oh my God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to make that video.
I'm with it. Hey, and a Cowboys running back jersey too. Just let's keep talking about Ashton Genty at the Cowboys too, because I
the Ash Agenda. I would.
Yeah, that's really
Ash Agenda.
That should really solve all your troubles now. Yeah.
Hey, listen, all I know is that we're gonna get the hashtag Ashgenda going because we need to keep talking about it.
Oh, great. One of my friends has texted me, you should have went for 2. Yeah, no shit. And that'll see it. Yeah, I think that you don't. You've already said it earlier. You didn't. Anyways, that'll wrap up bench or play. We go on to worst or best tweet. And I have some worst and I have some best tweets. And if you guys want to look at your notes, we'll go off the first, my worst tweet ever. November 18th is the worst date in Washington, D.C. history.
So gross.
It's the most disgusting thing ever. November 18th, 1985. Redskins quarterback Joe Theismann breaks his leg after Lawrence Taylor just absolutely snaps it in half. Then we have November 18th, 2018, Redskins QB Alex Smith breaks his leg playing against the Texans. I think J.J. Watt was a culprit of that. And then triple curse me, November 18th, officially the most cursed day of the year in Washington, D.C. Alexander Ovechkin breaks his fibula by Jake McBain. I hope you never see the ice ever again, you scumbag. I hate Utah. I hope Utah never has any success from here on out.
They haven't had too much success in Arizona. So I don't
a plague upon Energy Solutions Arena, or whatever the hell you want to freaking call it. A plague, I say. Yeah, that was pretty bad. And
that is canonically scary, almost. Like,
they should cancel all the games on that day.
There's got to be something that now, like the city's got to look into something, like sage the city, or like what's going on.
Dude, somebody when Alex got that injury and they announced it, somebody in the comments was like, "I just saw someone fall to the knees at the Lincoln Memorial."
Oh my God!
Dear heavens!
I thought that was great. And then my next team, for going to college football playoff with Notre Dame as this handsome young guy in the offense, hitting on, like, if you want to call it Pam from The Office or whatever. And Notre Dame's like, I'm 9-1. My only loss coming to is a 7th place MAC team. Here's a first round home game. And the next killer is SMU. And he says, I'm 9-1 with the only loss coming to a top FC team. It's like, get out of our playoffs.
Oh my God. I mean, the Big 12's decline is the Mountain West ascension, so
that is not a victory for the OG.
It's just a predicament of unfortunate circumstances.
Not it.
And then my next best tweet was Central Michigan beating Western Michigan. Shout out the MAC, beating their first Western Michigan at home for the first time in 5,128 days.
Wow,
sad for the Broncos.
I mean, Jake and I mean, we can run into the Mac a little bit here, but like we were pretty spot on. I was pretty spot on with most of it. NIU, I mean, show me something. They showed me nothing. The thing that we literally talked about was I was telling Jake, I said like I like all the spreads for this week except for literally the Michigan game between Western Michigan and Central Michigan. I'm like somehow this is going to mess us up. The Michigan bill comes due, and here we are.
Yeah, that was Flint water. That was not a good game.
And then I'll
Shout out
try
to the
to
Chippewas.
get quick to the last two, but UF dunking on Ole Miss's basketball hoop that they had on the sideline. I mean,
Eddie.
I mean, rightfully so. I don't blame them. And then my last one is this guy who does like a Chris Collinsworth and Tony Romo impression, and and each time he said you have to take a shot whenever you're. I don't know, Jim. And then take another shot. Chris Collinsworth laughing. Patrick Mahomes. Here's a guy.
I'd be hammered.
And then one of the comments on that video, somebody was saying like, "Are you willing to be liable for the amount of like alcohol poisoning you will be responsible for if people do this challenge?"
Now, here's a guy who might be encouraging underage drinking.
I don't know, Jim. Here's a guy trying to land everybody in the hospital. Here we go.
So funny.
Feeling pretty Mahomey. And that's all I had for worst best tweet.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in right here because we've talked about it a lot on the pod, and we're going to keep pushing the agenda. So for my best tweet that I saw from this week, it is from one of my favorite new followers or followees. I'm following. I don't know where I was going on that, but Davies Nader, Taysom Hill for NFL MVP because he plays multiple positions. That's how it works, right? And again, obviously,
Travis Hunter.
It's a subtweet to the guy that we were just talking about, Travis Hunter, right? And Travis Hunter, man, I'm just saying it. I'm saying not top five in receiver when it comes to the class, right? You've got Tederayo McMillan, you've got Luther Burden, you've got Nick Nash from San Jose State that nobody talks about. You've got Ja'Cory
I talked about him last week.
Nobody outside of us on the podcast. I should have pressed. Sorry. Hey, hand up on me, hand up. Xavier Restrepo and then Harold Fannin from Bowling Green, who's a tight end as well. All of these guys have better receiving stats than Travis Hunter. So again, is he the best receiver in the draft? No. And then when we go to the other side of the ball, that's the biggest piece that I'm having a hard time understanding with this. It's hard to justify like cornerback stats because it's not like a linebacker where they're getting, a ton of open field tackles. Maybe if a linebacker is getting interceptions, maybe it looks a little bit different than how a cornerback is getting it. But when I see a guy that's playing 11 games and he's got 3 interceptions and 3 pass deflections, I'm supposed to be like, that's the best cornerback in college football. Like that. I'm sorry, that just doesn't line up with me. And again, when we're talking about Will Johnson, who other people are talking about might be the top cornerback prospect outside of Travis Hunter, in 6 games, so he's played half as many games as Travis Hunter has, he has 14 tackles, 2 picks, and 2 pass deflections as well. So he's played in half as many games, and he basically has the exact same stat line. And people are saying, oh, top, bottom, left, right, middle, center. I don't know what is going on anymore, but let's be real. We've seen people that have played both sides of the ball before, so I don't want to see the argument played anymore. Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Desmond Howard, Owen Macedrick, Chris Gamble, Jabril Peppers, Adoree Jackson. There's names. Keep going. Dig back in the books. Genty Heisman.
Yeah, if you're not putting up Charles Woodson like type numbers for to be a high, you're not like he won the Heisman. You're not a Heisman candidate. Sorry.
Well, I think something to think about too is like when both of those guys, when we're talking Howard and Woodson, when they won the Heisman, like they were the best at least one side of the ball. And again, in Woodson's scenario, in Howard's scenario, it was 2 sides of the ball. He was the best defender and he was the best returner, right? In Woodson's scenario, he was by far the best defender that was in college football. And Travis Hunter's not the best in either side of it. So why are we freaking out about the fact that he plays both sides of the ball? Is it the prime time agenda, or should I say the crime time agenda that we're having here? Because I have some sort of tinfoil hat theory right now where this is a problem.
You want to borrow my hat?
It's a problem. I have an agenda to push, and I will be here to do it.
Oh my God, that was so bad.
I liked it.
Thank you. Thank you. I know it was bad. I didn't like it either, but hey, we're here. We're bros. We're in the bleachers.
Mm.
We're just hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Big
Just
Bill.
chill, guys.
I'm just a chill guy who's pissed off about Travis Hunter potentially winning the Heisman.
Chill guy pushing an Ask Genty agenda.
True.
And that'll bring us to last but not least, Josh. Josh, what's best tweet of the week?
So we're gonna circle back to F1 circle tracking, and for those who don't know, Max Verstappen is the world champion. That's happened. His teammate is a criminal, not a criminal, but that's a hard way to put it. But his performance as of late is criminal. And so as a lot of people might know, there's a big old spherical ball that lights up in the sky in Vegas, and it projects a bunch of funny things on it, and some things that aren't that funny. But one of the ones was Sergio Perez getting out in Q3, which is like basically the first round of getting eliminated, and them showing him on the ball doing a thumbs down after he doesn't make it into Q2. So yeah, that was my worst best tweet because I thought it was just hilarious, and I was right there watching it, laughing my ass off.
Ain't it?
Go see Gladiator 2, I guess.
Mm. Oh, you're not entertained.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, I kind of want to see that movie, but I also would have to watch the first Gladiator movie. Whoops.
Whoa.
I have it on
You gotta-
4K.
You got to see that, brother. That's
Ooh, here Blu-ray.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I've never seen it either.
Oh yeah.
such a good movie.
And that's with Brad Pitt now.
No, that's Troy.
Okay.
Oh,
whoops.
yeah.
Whoopsie daisy. Anyways, enough my bad movie knowledge. That'll wrap up worst or best tweet for the week, and that'll bring us to our rankings that you guys seem to really like so far in our shorts. So if you did like the shorts and you're this far somehow, some way, keep watching the dang podcast. I mean, come on, you get all of it. We're doing top 5 Heisman winners since 2000. So who wants to go first?
I can go first again. I'll do it again.
Brave soul. Let me put my phone to charge so we don't die out when I'm spinning the wheel for you, my friend. Oh. All right. Here we go.
Spin that wheel.
Johnny Manziel.
Here we go. 1 through
Manziel.
5. Current. Oh, wait. Crap. I didn't record. Crap. Oh, we're going to have to restart. Put in reverse, Terry.
Johnny Manziel.
Dude,
Johnny
I'm rusty.
Manziel.
Are we recording? Fuck, I'm
Is
screwed.
recording in the top left? If that helps.
No, he's talking about on his phone.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Now, okay, here we go. And let's spin this wheel now. What will Josh end up with? Which Heisman candidate will he put either 1 through 5? Josh first. Oh, Eric Couch, Heisman winner.
Wow.
I believe 2002?
2000 and
2001.
2001,
Excuse me.
Nebraska. We'll just put him at 5.
Yeah, that's about the safest pick that you could have gotten.
I think
at
that's a
5
pretty
right
easy
there.
little layup there. Just
There's definitely somebody and like that poor Nebraska team was so legit. How dare you punching their steering wheel?
I mean, Ohio corn's better. So if anybody from Nebraska wants these hands, they can have them.
Oh God. All right. And that'll bring us to your next pick. Who you get? Eric Couch was at 5. What will Josh end up with next? Give him Jameis Winston, famous Jameis.
That's a great pick.
That's a good pick. Yeah, and he won that as a freshman, didn't he? All right, just for that accomplishment.
I think junior. I think it was
Yeah.
a junior.
Was it
Johnny
junior?
Manziel was the freshman.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do 2 still.
All right.
I like it.
Jameis at 2. Tim something Couch. Nebraska fans punching the steering wheel at 5. Spin that
Tim-
wheel again.
Tim Eric Couch, everybody knows.
Josh will oh God. Jason White out of Oklahoma, Heisman winner.
Yeah, that's about the other one that you didn't want.
That's probably number 4 then.
Yep.
Not
Jason
like-
White, fun fact, the only Heisman winner since 2000 that has gone undrafted after winning the Heisman.
That's absurd.
Damn,
I
I
guess
kinda-
it's good. It's good for.
That kind of tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Boomer Sooner fans. Whoops. He had a good stat line though, but comparison to what we've seen now, it's like
Oh yeah.
night and day. But
Yeah.
spin again. Jason White.
that wheel.
Jason White was at 4. Who will Josh get next? Give him Matt Leinart.
Ooh.
You have 1
Oh,
and
you might
3
just-
open.
I might just have to go 3.
Oh,
Damn. Oh, that hurts me.
I think we live the wildcat life. Here we go.
Damn. I'm looking through the list. You're hoping for some names right now. Let's see.
I really
You really could nail this if you get like a good 3 out of the 25 or something like that. Let's see it.
Any of the running backs, honestly.
he's fine. Josh will get Cam Newton.
Oh yeah, easy number 1.
Damn
easy number
it.
1. If this was a list
Yeah.
for fashion, we might put him number 1 too. Who knows? Let's get freaky.
Damn. Wow. You. Oh, damn. That's a really good list.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Damn
he made out like a bandit with Cam Newton.
Oh,
Chris Weinke at number 1.
Right.
I mean,
All
yeah,
right.
I would have been happy with any running back, honestly, at my 1. And there's a host of quarterbacks that I would have been comfortable with as well.
Ain't that right? All right, Jake. Ready to step up to the plate?
Here, batter. Let's go.
Spinning the wheel now. Spinning that wheel. Spinning that wheel. What will Jake get with his first pick? Caleb Williams.
Oh,
That's such a trap pick so early. Man, I feel like my instincts are leading me to 3 or 4 just to like leave the room open, but I'm almost even thinking 5 just because I could really like this could be the one where I go on a legendary run and you just get everyone that's better than Caleb Williams. And if I have him at my 3, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm putting Williams at 4.
Okay, not bad.
I think I'm gonna end up getting Troy Smith. Like,
that junior year he had was probably one of the best like years I've ever seen. I mean,
Right.
I mean, and relative to obviously like these Heisman winners he's currently with, but it was a really remarkable season. Let's spin that wheel again. You had Caleb Williams at 3, Jake.
I got him at my 4.
Oh, 4, excuse me.
Troy Smith.
And Jake will get the first non-QB player, Devontae Smith.
Ooh.
Smitty.
I am totally okay with putting Devontae Smith at my 3. Again, I think that we're talking about maybe I'm crazy with that, but hey, on my side, first wide receiver to win the Heisman since the 90s, chalk it up.
The Slim Reaper excellence.
Mhm.
I mean, that was probably one of the most like masterpieces of a wide receiver, like stat line for college.
Unreal.
Bro, that championship game was
And with just
insane.
not a frame that makes sense for college football. Like he is not like the body type that is meant to succeed and win the Heisman, you know? Like I'd go out there and say he might be the lightest player to ever win the Heisman, maybe. I don't know. I would love to find that stat. That could be something.
Oh, you know, there's some guy in the 1980s that was like at least 5 pounds of beer in his stomach that weighed at least like, you know, still 10 pounds less than Devontae Smith.
Could be.
Sid Luckman or
Right.
Jim Thorpe or one of those guys. But spinning that wheel.
Here we go.
Yeah. What will Jake end up with?
Troy Smith.
Sam Bradford.
Ooh. I think he's got to go at 5, right?
I don't know. I mean, I remember that hype during
Ah.
him coming out of college.
I know, but if we're talking about hype, then I mean, he probably's got less hype than Caleb Williams and Devonta Smith, right?
He was really good at Oklahoma, but that's
I'm
up to
going
you.
I'm going Bradford at 5.
Man,
Wow.
I know.
Oklahoma fans just fell to their knees in the court.
Sorry, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna
Man.
I'm going Wenke and Troy Smith back to back right now. Let's dial it in.
Spinning it now. Last two. What's Jake gonna end up with? Jake will get Carson Palmer.
Okay, Palmer too.
Oh
I don't love my
yeah.
list. I don't love my
Yeah.
list right now, but we'll see. We'll see who we get at number one. We'll see who we get at number one.
We have
Hey,
two guys.
If anything, Carson Palmer, they won the national championship that year. So again, we're talking about a national championship winning quarterback. Again, Caleb Williams didn't win the national championship. Sam Bradford, I don't know, did that Oklahoma team win the national championship with them?
No, Tebow. Stop
Right.
that effort.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm a little bit more confident in my list now. Let's give me something fat, Drew. There's two players that I want right now, and I make it happen.
Spinning it now.
Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel. Johnny
Jake's
Manziel.
last spin. His number one. Who will it be? Give it to him. Baker Mayfield.
Bang, Baker.
That's a
That's
just
a great. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I'm cool with that. It's not my favorite list that I've ever made, but again, when we talk about Heisman winning seasons, Baker did not win the national championship, though, right?
No, I think he was in the Rose. No, the Oklahoma didn't go to the Rose Bowl. What? Didn't they play?
They were fourth, and I think because they played Ohio State in the regular season, right? And they lost that. And then I don't think they ever played in the postseason after that.
Because it was a dogfight of a game he was in, and he put up a stat line, but he ended up short, I think. Are you looking it up, Josh?
I am. Yeah, he played at the Sooner O. Big 12 championship game. Yeah, they lost to TCU. They beat TCU, won MVP.
What was
Lost
the bowl
Georgia.
game?
Oh, they lost to the Bulldogs. Yeah, in the 2018 Rose Bowl.
Yeah, okay, so it was the Rose Bowl. Okay, I was right.
Well, hey, I'm happy with that list. Baker at 1, Carson Palmer at 2, Devonta Smith at 3, Caleb Williams 4, Sam Bradford 5, Oklahoma, fight me.
And watch the 2007 Fiesta Bowl.
Hey, I sandwiched Oklahoma. I think I'm all right.
I'm scared for my list. I don't know. You guys both have pretty good lists.
Come on, Drewy. Let's see it.
Spinning it now. 1 through 5. Who will I get?
Again, there's like 4 or 5 names that I'm just sitting here just waiting on, and we didn't get any of them. Damn it.
Oh my God. Ugh. Jason White.
It's easy. That's got to be your 5.
Yeah. it's Jason White at 5. Sorry, Sooner fans punching your steering wheel. I think they'd be happier if I put Jason White at 5 than like Sam Bradford, right? At 5?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh yeah.
No shade at you.
I'm gonna get hate mail. It's gonna be written in corn.
Norman, Oklahoma is gonna come after you. Watch out. All right.
Which I was reading his thing. I think he was a dual threat quarterback, which is actually really funny.
He was ahead of his time. Oh my God, get there. Tim Tebow, put him at 1.
Whoa, all right.
Oh.
Tebow at 1.
There you go. That was one of the names that we were hoping to see on the wheel. So there we go. And listen, no matter who you put next, all of these are going to be hard once you've got an actual true number 1. I feel like even with mine with Baker, he's not top 10 of this 25, but
yeah.
Fuck it, we ball.
All right, here we go. Next spin. My 1 and 5.
Troy Smith.
Was he that bad at whatchamacallit?
At Ohio State?
Yeah.
I mean, you know about the NFL career afterwards?
Oh, not really, but
I don't either, and not a lot of other people do. So
fair point.
Right.
I think he converted to receiver.
Was he one of the starts? One of the start of the you can't trust the quarterbacks out of Ohio State? Yeah.
Give it to me, Johnny Manziel.
Oh,
damn. All right.
I have to put him at 2.
Yeah, you have to.
I have to put him at 2. Johnny Money Manziel at 2.
Damn, you're gonna have a fire list. I feel it.
I'm having fun. This is fun. I don't know what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
Oh, damn. Oh, Marcus Mariota.
Ooh.
It's I don't think I put him at 4 because he was insane. No,
former Eagles great
and current backup quarterback.
I don't know about that. I mean, Where are you putting him?
I'm putting him at 3. Marcus Mariota at 3.
All right, this could be it, Drewy.
Oh.
Again, there's one name that we haven't heard in anybody's list yet that I want to hear so damn badly. And if you have him at 4, I'm gonna be pissed.
Spinning the wheel now.
It's gonna happen.
If I got him at 4, Devontae Smith will be my number 4.
All right,
That's fair.
you have a good list too.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to with like all these like stud players.
Well, I think it just depends on where you go, right? Like if you have Mariota right there and then you end up getting Burrow, you're getting flamed, right? If you got Reggie Bush there, you're getting flamed, right? So I think it depends on where you had it, but that's why I was so cautious about being able to put Caleb Williams as, the first guy that I had on my list. Shit, I've got to put him a little bit lower just in case you hit every home run,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was
Yeah,
fun.
the kids on TikTok are going to be mad at you about Caleb.
Oh, they're going to be irate.
Caleb Williams is so much better than Tim Tebow. You idiot. God.
He jumped over a man today.
And I'll very much say that my honorable mention is our 2024 Heisman winner, Ashton Genty, because that is the agenda that we will continue to push on this podcast. And we thank you for listening to Bros in the Bleachers podcast and learning more about the agenda, because that's what we're about here.
Yes.
Obviously, some big names we really missed out on were we missed out on Kyler. We missed out on Reggie Bush, like Jake mentioned.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, Derrick Henry, obviously, Mark Ingram,
Joe,
yeah.
RG3.
Baru.
Yeah, RG3. I was hoping I would get him somehow, but
Lamar
Jackson.
Lamar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did solid overall.
Which I think a correction. The dual threat quarterback was actually Crouch, which he threw 7 TDs and 10 interceptions and ran for like 20 touchdowns. So like, we feel good about that being a 5.
That's like a Bryson Daly stat line right there.
Has he thrown that many picks?
That's Riley Leonard.
Oh, yeah, that's Riley Leonard.
Yeah, you're right. That's hand up.
All right, and that'll end up the top 5, and that'll wrap up the show. Guys, any closing thoughts before we sign off for today?
Please, somebody come to me with sound thoughts about why Travis Hunter should win the Heisman, because I feel like I'm like the Charlie Day meme right now, and it's always sunny in Philadelphia about the Ashton Genty Heisman right now. But other than that, what a hell of a week of football that we had this week, gentlemen. Great time reviewing it with the fellas.
Insert Elmo with the flames behind him during the SEC.
Yes. This was my flu game. I'm going to go drink more orange juice.
And that'll do it for another episode of Bros and the Bleachers podcast.
Later, bros.